Hi. Where does Hawkman wear his wedding ring? On his wing finger? It's the greatest DC comic show on YouTube. It's Fanboys Live and the Retro Review, and it does not take a holiday break. Welcome to tonight's show. Hopefully you've had a great and are having a great weekend and still have another one left tomorrow to enjoy in your extended weekend. Of course, still remembering at the same time the entire reason why we have a 3-day weekend and saluting those that are no longer with us, especially our military who have given us our freedom. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I have been enjoying my weekend, to say the least, and a long weekend has been desperately needed. I'm so glad and happy that you're here. I'll be even happier when Signature King shows up to do the show with me. In the meantime, we'll start saying hello to folks that are in the live chat with us. And if you're watching on the rewind, of course, hello to you as well. So White Tiger Cool, Calm, Collected was our first show up. And then we're following that up with John's Comics with Kids, who's here as well. Hope you're having a nice weekend as well. I know you don't have D&D tonight, so you got yourself, you can watch the entire show now if you'd like. We'll also say hello to my co-host, Signature King. How are you tonight?
Hello.
How's it going?
Not too bad. Ready for the long weekend.
Me too. I was just commenting on that. Tonight, if you haven't been able to tell, I am Team Thanagar.
Oh,
just
okay.
Representing that. I can stand up and show you the back of my shirt too, because that's pretty foily awesome Hawkman goodness on the back.
Let's take a look.
Maybe not right now, but maybe later on.
Fair enough.
Okay. How was your week? Did you make it to any comic stores or do anything comic related?
I did make it to my LCS on Friday. Picked up some goodies. So tonight I'll be showing off one or two of those. So, but yeah, definitely made it.
Very nice. So as we start into the news, probably the biggest story is one that just developed this afternoon. And comic book writer Peter David has passed away at the age of 68. He passed away last night, according to a post made on social media by his wife, Kathleen O'Shea David. And he had been suffering a series of health setbacks for quite some time. And I'm very sad to hear this news. Of course, he had worked on many DC titles, including Aquaman and Supergirl, among others.
Yeah, it's always bad news when we talk about people who are been around for a long time in the industry, and they're moving on. So
yeah,
that's a shame. Never met the guy, but I'm sure we would have gotten along great and got him to sign some things. So
yeah, so no autograph in the collection, huh?
No. I was looking at his con schedule. He didn't do very many cons.
It was probably because of the poor health that he had been going through in the last several years, is what I would attribute that to.
Well, even when, I don't want to say when he was healthy, when back even in the mid 90s, early 90s, he never did anything with cons. But that's okay. Not everybody does cons. Not always their thing, and that's okay.
Yeah. So that's like I said, probably the biggest news. But we can move on with some other news, with some fun news. How about that?
I'll take some fun news. What do you got?
Did you hear about Crypto's Golden Biscuit? You didn't?
Nope.
This is pretty darn cool. If this gives you Willy Wonka vibes, I think it's supposed to. So we had talked in the past that Adventure Comics number 210 is coming out as a facsimile. That's the first appearance of Crypto, and that's coming out on June 18th. These are going to be polybagged, and inside 2 copies will be Crypto's Golden Biscuit inside the front cover, which will get you an all-expense paid trip to the Superman movie premiere.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I did see, like, the turnaround window is pretty small, though. Like, you don't have a lot of time from the day it goes on sale before you have to, like, claim the prize. So this is one where you don't buy it and then sit on it for a while. Could you imagine? I mean, there is a possibility of no one claiming either one of these. Could you imagine a collector like 6 months down the road or 2 months down the road or whatever, buy one, they open it up and they would have won?
Oh, jeez. That'd be me. That'd be my kind of luck.
So I know that you're not a facsimile fan. Is this something to tempt you enough to give it a shot? I mean, I was kind of thinking about picking up this facsimile anyway, but now I'm kind of like, yeah, I think I need to just for the funsies of it.
No, because I mean, the chances are so minute.
You definitely won't win if you don't try.
Well, I also don't want to dump a bunch of money into it and not win anyway.
Well, I didn't say you could just buy one. You still get your comic book.
That's true. But yeah, tempting, but not for me.
Okay. No problem at all.
More chances for you to try.
I'm probably just going to buy one. I don't need multiple facsimiles, Gordon is here joining us now. Hope you're doing well, Gordon.
Although I know many of people who they would just buy the first one, don't even care about comics. Open it and there it would be.
I'm going to ask this gentleman next week because he's going to be on our show next week. Super Russ 9000. I've been saying for a while, that Super Russ, I want you on the show for a certain special theme that I want to do. We're going to do it next week. So we'll probably reveal the theme at the end of tonight's episode, but he's going to be with us next week. And I'm going to ask him if Crypto's Golden Biscuit, if he's going to take a bite out of that and see if he could win.
That's funny.
Yeah. So more news to talk about. Guess what human being in real life, in real world, is coming to a DC Comics cover soon?
Stephen Colbert.
Absolutely correct.
That was my next thing I was going to talk about.
Yes. So Superman Batman World's Finest issue number 40 will have a Stephen Colbert variant cover. And I never noticed until looking at this right now how much he looks like an older Clark Kent.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be cool to have this signed by Stephen Colbert?
That would be a really unique signature.
Yeah, I think so
Very
too.
unique.
So I think that's fun. I didn't know in another interview that he had done with someone else, it wasn't a DC comic, but he had a CGC graded comic book, a Golden Age graded comic book. And I was like, I didn't know that he collected comic books.
With the new U.S. Bank Smartly Visa Signature Card,
like superheroes.
you can earn an unlimited 2% cash back on every purchase.
Really going all out, huh?
Is that you? That was you. Okay.
So
couldn't tell. Very unique. Very unique. Yeah, I think I normally don't do like celebrities that sign, especially my DC books, but I think if you had I know there was one for Jerry Seinfeld through World's Finest and Stephen Colbert
and William Shatner.
William Shatner. Yeah, I think those honestly they'd be an exception because they're on the cover.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've seen people get like their copy of Shazam #1 from earlier signed by Zachary Levi. Like, no thanks, that's not for me. Unless I had a couple of copies, and yeah, why not? But,
so what I'm hearing from you is like, let's just do a throwback to last week, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't get a Wonder Woman comic book signed by Linda Carter, but you would get a Wonder Woman 77 comic book signed by Linda Carter.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
I understand you.
Or unless it was like a Wonder Woman like logo, like just the logo.
Mm-hmm. A foil or something. Yeah.
Then I would, because it's just the Wonder Woman logo.
Yeah.
Same with I think there's a lot of Batman logos out there. I think I've seen Michael Keaton sign a few, and that's okay because it's just a Batman logo.
Yeah. Okay. Showcase. Remember that long-running DC comic title called Showcase? Started in the Silver Age. Gave us like the Silver Age incarnation of the Flash, among other heroes. Showcase is back in August, but not the way you expected. DC Comics is starting to kick off celebration of 90 years of publishing And they're going to do DC Showcase, the official coloring book.
Oh, okay.
So, and here is the cover art for that. And I think it showed some of the pages. There's some of the pages, like there's the Flash. Got some nice Batman stuff, Green Lantern there. There's even Adam Strange, and so on and so forth.
That's cool. I like that.
I really like this one with Superboy and the Legion. That's cool. So
I like the Justice League International one. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, the Justice League International one's pretty nice too. So look for this to be one of many things celebrating DC's 90th coming out in August. I know that Hallmark is going to have a DC Comics 90th ornament with the Golden Age Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman on it.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Lots of good stuff. I like it when big anniversaries happen because then you get cool stuff like this. And I like cool stuff.
Yeah, exactly. More news right now. Jerry Ordway has confirmed, with 2025 being the 40th anniversary of DC's mega event that changed everything, Crisis on Infinite Earths, there is going to be a brand new remastered Crisis on Infinite Earths Absolute Edition, which is scheduled for February 2026. Retailing at $125, 600 pages. They have been, I believe, obviously remastered, but I think that they were recolored from photocopies of the original art. And there are going to be some limited versions available with hand-signed Jerry Ordway remarks in them. Don't have a pricing point for that.
What, are you interested in that?
No, and let me tell you why. I have the original Absolute of Crisis on Infinite Earths. My slipcase is signed by Alex Ross, and the book is signed by George Perez and Marv Wolfman.
Oh.
So to me, I mean, it just ain't going to get better than that, you know?
You're right.
A remark would be pretty cool, though.
A remark would be cool. I mean, I have a lot of Jerry Ordway, so signature-wise doesn't really interest me that much. But I hope he comes back again. So far, I think he's planning to come back for Baltimore. I'm looking forward to that. I always have something for Jerry. Even though I have a lot of Jerry, doesn't matter. I'm always getting something for Jerry.
Yes, Jerry Ordway's on my want list, as you know, as well.
Yes, he's couldn't make it last year due to the passing of Mr. Cassidy. Is that who it was? So, which totally makes sense. But yeah, hopefully we can catch him this year.
Yeah. So news-wise, that's what I have. Do you have anything else to add?
No, you kind of took all my articles.
Okay.
And that's okay. That's okay. But news here, nothing on this side of the country in terms of comic books, but just watching some conventions add celebrities to the list. So I'm eagerly anticipating some big names to drop. Some cool facts. Philadelphia Comic Con or Fan Expo Philly added a bunch of people for next year, and they're going to be exclusive to Philly Fan Expo for the next 5 years.
Oh, wow. They certainly do, Gordon. George Perez was never shy about, filling that. I remember one time they told him I think it's a Crisis 9 with the villains on the cover. They said, we'll put about 8 or 9 villains on the front, and he put something like 46 or 47.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Is that the record?
I don't know if it's a record or not, but that was pretty amazing.
Sounds definitely like could be some kind of record. But no, news-wise, that's a good summary of local articles.
Okay, cool. Well, if you wouldn't mind pulling up the assist, you picked out tonight's retro review, and you can tell us what it is and why you picked it, if you don't mind.
I did. Let me pull that up here so I can have a screen or a cover to go with it. It's the Rann-Thanagar War. Reason I picked this, 2 reasons. One, we haven't really done a whole lot of Hawkman, Adam Strange. So I figured this would be perfect. And 2, I was at my LCS and they had the whole volume for sale. It was in my hand, and I was looking at Instagram, and he had asked me that question. Like, oh, perfect, here we go. So it's just a happy timing.
Everything happens for a reason.
Yes.
So I'll get us started. We got a great cover there with Hawkman, Kyle Rayner, Green Lantern, and Adam Strange. Which side are you on? So, Earth, for eons, mankind has known Polaris as the North Star. Many of the travelers use that as a guiding system to bring them to safe haven. But for the natives of the planet Thanagar, Polaris is a harsh sun. It's a fierce witness to uncounted battles across numerous worlds, battles which continue today. And we see that a phoenix has been found. And above them, we realize this phoenix is actually in the presence on Earth of Hawkman and Hawkgirl. And Hawkman tells her, no, you broke formation, Hawkgirl. It found you. Great splash page there. So,
it is. Trying to look at some of the talent. Okay, so Peter Tomasi is the editor on this one. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
He starts to talk about, Hawkman does, that when we were sent another of those mythic statues, I knew the original inspiration for it wouldn't be too far behind. So this Phoenix Flamebird is attacking the Hawks, and all of a sudden, Hawkman sees this kind of bluish white light shining on him, and he initially thinks it's more monsters, but it's a great splash page there of help that's come in the form of Adam Strange. So Adam's Zeta Beam, he says, always seems to land him right in the middle of trouble, and he's helping the Hawks out with this Phoenix that has attacked them. It's gotten their wings a little bit. He helps them defeat it. They're ready for some rest, and they thank him, it's great that you just happened to be here in the nick of time. You can go to the next page. And he says, well, it's not exactly lucky. I specifically came looking for you, and I tracked your Thanagarian anti-gravity radiation. He's like, I need your help. Can we talk while you get patched up? And he says, well, I thought everyone, like everyone else, I thought that Rann had been vaporized, along with Alana and all of the people that he loved. But it wasn't. It was lost. It was hidden using a planetary scale teleportation device that Sardath and his Iranian techs created, and they call it the Omega Beam. Then he talks about this rogue Thanagarian called Shrari Valkyr, planned to use this device to convert the universe's matter into raw energy and feed it to an evil entity that she worshipped, that she believed would reward her by reincarnating her to rule eternity. So they're inquiring if he's been able to stop him, and she said yes, or Adam says yes, eventually, and the Omega device was destroyed, but as she died, she teleported Rann into the heart of the Polaris system, in terms of sheer spite. She wanted Thanagar to assume that Rann was attacking them and then start defending it to cause a war between the two worlds to the death. And she wanted millions to die. And he says, and they did, millions, but not in a war. And he says, I don't know how exactly to tell you this. There's no easy way to tell you this, but she miscalculated. And the planet that she destroyed was actually Thanagar. And they are in shock. So what happened was on Thanagar, when Rann inserted itself into their solar system, so to speak, it dislodged the orbit. And they started to fall towards this burning sun. And Thanagar would eventually enter a new orbit, but not until all life had been scorched from the planet. So Rann, Adam Strange, and the citizens of Rann reached out to Thanagar, trying to evacuate them. And some people willingly went. Some people believed it was a trick and they would be in more trouble if they went. And some people flat out refused to be rescued. And there on that page that you're showing, the rescuers themselves were starting to die, so they had to pull out. And they had taken these people from Thanagar that were now displaced and put them on Rann, and tensions were brewing between the two. And they said some people were silent at first, others weren't. And the cult of the Seven Devils which believes that the way to eternal life lies across the bodies of the dead. They are feeding off of this and this chaos that's going on. And the influence of the cult of the Seven Devils is really starting to play political line between Rann and Thanagar. So what he wants is for Hawkman and Hawkgirl to come back with him to Rann and talk to the Thanagarians and just explain what's going on and that they can work together. And that's their hope. So they say Rann is afraid, and it's becoming a dangerous situation. People are stockpiling weapons, and they're getting ready to use them. And the Hawks say, yeah, we'll do it, but aren't someone like the Green Lantern supposed to take care of this, or the Guardians? Why aren't they intervening? And they said, we can't, Adam Strange says, we can't really rely on their help on this. It's up to us, and that's why I came here. So he says, get in your ship, get ready, and come follow me. And they said, hey, it's going to take us half a day just to get our ship prepared for this. We're hopping on your Zeta beam. And he's like, well, that's going to push it to, maximum capacity, but I guess we can do it. And let's take off, which is what they're doing on the last page of that. So we cut now to a spaceship. And the spaceship, you can hear message for Hawkman Carter, I need your help. And this person saying there's not much time. I need your help in the Polaris system. Thanagar is, and she doesn't know how to say this. There's a lot to tell the Seven Devils are. And this woman who's trying to relay this message out gets caught by the officials that be, and they seize her. So in the meantime, we have Hawkman, Hawkgirl, and Adam Strange taking off on the Zeta beam. And they arrive on Thanagar, and they are shocked at what they've seen because they're hoping they can get there in enough time to prevent war. But as we'll see on the next page, war has already started, and it is a massive war. And they figure out they have to get to Central Command, and they start flying through, and they're getting, the Thanagarians are getting attacked by Rann, and Adam Strange at one point sees someone who recognizes him back and says, these are my friends, they're here to help. You've got to let us through. Hold your fire. These are allies of ours. And that's what happens on the next page. And they're flying through, and Adam Strange is wondering what's happened to his family. They're all right. They're in the level 8 bunker, and they arrive. Now we cut over to Mount Everest now on Earth. And here we have Kilowog, and we have Green Lantern Kyle Rayner that are talking to each other. And Kyle's talking about how his mom and him used to sit down at nights like this, and we'd talk and sit and look at the different stars, name and identify them. And he says, I knew I could never name them all. I knew space was too big. And that's so funny. That little kid never believed that I'd fly in them one day, stand on their planets and meet aliens who lived out there. And he's like, no offense, Kilowog. And he's like, none taken, Poozer. Everybody is somebody's alien. And he's like, never much time for stars. My family took all of my time. Kilowog says, now only family I have is out there. And as those two start to talk, he says, Kilowog says to Kyle, we're here because I need to give you some orders from Oa. And he talks about the second planet blockade by a Kund battle fleet, motive not known. Guardians say that Ankar must decide its own destiny. You need to go there, remove the blockade, and use force if you must, but you need to be careful. The Guardians do not really want Lanterns involved in anything to do with Rann and Thanagar and anything that's going on there. And he says, are you clear about that? And Kyle, as he flies off, says, as brightest day, Kilowog, as blackest day. So now we cut back over on Rann, and we have all these different scientists that are monitoring the situation that's going on throughout the entire area. This is down in the lower bunker where Adam Strange has arrived back to find Alana and his daughter, and they're reunited for a minute. And at first, they're kind of upset, his daughter especially, to see the Thanagarians because she only knows them as evil. But he says, no, they're our friends, and they will help us. So they're getting an update now on the next page on really what's going on. And the refugees rose up. They're getting an update on what happened while they were gone. And the refugees all kind of rose up as one. At the same moment, invasion forces began landing everywhere. It was really sudden. And Kalanor had fallen, but they hold the Dacian Heights and the reactors of the Flame Ocean. And they don't know what's going on off-world. It's too early to report. They do know, though, that Tamaran is involved, and their queen commander, who would be Blackfire, they have already acknowledged she's totally ruthless in her lust for a new homeworld. And they're worried that if she unites with Thanagar and they go after Rann to claim it as their own, they could have a huge problem. All of a sudden, right there, you see explosion into this bunker area that they're in the main central area. And an attack is started instantly as Adam Strange's daughter yells "Daddy," and the cliffhanger of the issue is upon us. Hello to Mr. Kenneth Bird, who's here tonight. Hope you're having a great holiday weekend.
Yeah, interesting story so far. So I'm going to pick up issue 2 here, and we come in, and this is Throne World. So, gosh, this is the part that, now that we've read the first one, I understand a little bit better, but issue 2, we kick off right away with Starman, which I thought was unique. And this guy down here, who's some sort of feline character, I have no idea who he is.
Is he part of the Omega Men? I don't know. I'm just guessing.
I don't know. But yeah, they're cooking bad Thanagarians, and he's playing in the whole catching birdies that he keeps saying. He's playing the whole feline catching birds, which is pretty funny. Here we go. His name is Tigor. It's Tigger. I don't know. It's from Winnie the Pooh. All right.
I'll look. That sounds like Omega Men to me, but I'll look.
Yeah, it could be. Well, he does kind of have an Omega Men symbol right here. Not sure if that's kind of related, but anyway, so they're included in this battle, and they're roasting bad guys, and just this huge epic battle. They are chasing the Thanagarian prince. I guess they're going to try to catch him, demoralize troops, and maybe it'll work, or maybe they'll get to surrender or something. But we cut back to Thanagar, underneath the ground, a big temple, and they are summoning the great Animar, the Eater of Souls. So some sort of Thanagarian god. And he awakens, and like King Kong, he grabs a female sacrifice, which I thought was really funny. And, he gets kind of checking her out. We cut out to into space. The Green Lanterns are arriving, and they are at, and this part made me chuckle. So whenever Green Lantern goes somewhere, it'll say sector, whatever, what's happening there, and we'll list the dominant species of whatever sector they're in. So here they have a planet, a binary planet of a sun, Capella, sector 2682, dominant life form, carbon-based trisexual humanoids. Okay. Recent history, once a subject ruled the first Thanagarian Empire, Enkar is currently an independent. So, planet once ruled by Thanagarians said, we're out. So they declared their independence. So, anyway, they arrive on scene, and they count 10 Canarian battle cruisers and 6 Legion assault carriers. And Kyle Rayner is very confused, like, Legion? Why? What are they doing here? But the ring is picking up other aircraft as well. We cut down to the planet, and we see these like alien guys. I'll zoom in to get a little better look, but they look very strange. These guys here, no face, just eyes. Look like stereotypical aliens to us. They say this planet is under our protection. Surrender now. We are Legion, and they get absolutely destroyed by the local force. Kyle Rayner pops in and kind of separates to the side and said, "Hey, you're all going to chill. And if you're not, well, I'm going to mess you both up." Here we have finally Brainiac 5 and I think Neptune Boy. I don't recall. Pretty sure it's Neptune Boy. Yeah, but they recognize each other and um, they're kind of trying to figure out what's happening here. And Kyle Rayner asks, like, "Hey, what are you guys doing here, and what is happening?" And Brainiac 5 kind of gives him the 411, but the local people don't really agree with that saying, so they're getting pretty hostile with him. But Legion is here to also secure some of the data banks, so they don't, fall into the wrong hands. They zip down to the command post here, and they not only do they find the data banks, but they have stumbled across the Thanagarian message. They've intercepted the Thanagarian message, and it. I think it's the next page, but they're trying to translate it, and they eventually do. I might have passed it, but yeah. Long story short, when they translated it from Thanagarian, it talks about how what they wanted to do was take the planet over, kill absolutely everything and everyone, and replant, Thanagar to this new planet. And it doesn't really say why they weren't having some sort of plague or it wasn't like a population crisis, just warmongering, I guess, just for the warmongering. But we cut to Polera, and here we have the Thanagarian ambassador meeting the queen of Kandor, which is Blackfire. Is it Kandor? Am I saying it? Kandor?
No, she's
not
I just
Kandor.
said it.
Yeah, Tamaran.
Tamaran.
Yeah, I don't know where Kandor came from. Tamaran.
No, her name is Commander.
That's right.
With a K.
Her name is Commander.
Yep.
But they call her Blackfire.
Yep.
And she's Tamaranian. Okay, so
yes.
The Thanagarian ambassadors arrive to meet with, here it is, Queen Commander of the Tamaranian fleet. Okay. I just got that backwards for some reason. But anyway, they meet up and they actually, make progress. There's a big feast, a big dance. They talk about, their will to, form an alliance. But it doesn't go well. I guess the princess that they were after is coming off the ship, and they do plan to kill her. So that's no bueno if you're from Rann. Meanwhile, we cut back to Adam Strange and Hawkman, and they're piloting a ship to this, like, I don't know what you call it, some kind of big Tamaranian rally. And here's the Ranns. So the Ranns come down and they just start killing people. And they start calling Kendra Saunders some kind of traitor, but they didn't say that about Hawkman, which I thought was interesting. So they called Hawkgirl the traitor. They specifically pointed her out, but not Hawkman. Mm-hmm. But it's an interesting battle. So we zip over to Ankar, where we follow Kyle Rayner, and he's back in the temple here. And right before he can reach the temple, he's ran into what is his name? I cannot write it. I feel like this is Neptune.
Maybe? Isn't that Captain Comet?
Could be Captain Comet, but I thought.
Let me look. Captain Comet.
Captain Comet. Okay, runs into Captain Comet, and he's talking about the religious artifacts of Thanagar. Ancient Thanagarian civilizations, and talking about different types of gods and lore and whatnot. And he thinks that here we go. I'm Adam Blake, known as Captain Comet. It's on the next page. I don't know why I was thinking Neptune Boy. Maybe it's the red. Anyway, so they're talking about Tears of Gods, and here we have the last one they have awoken. the Eater of Souls. I already forgot his name. Yeah, and they kind of release him onto the world, and he's going to help destroy Rann. And here we are. He's literally like inhaling their souls. Animar is his name. Soon the great Animar. Thanagarian Space Navy will kneel before him, or with them, whatever. And Rann shall be the first, and then the signs. The whole universe of souls will be mine to feast upon. So global ambitions for this guy, universal ambitions, and that's kind of it. One cool thing that I didn't know about the Thanagar War, this particular storyline, is that there's three iterations of Thanagar War. The one that we just did. The second was the Infinite Crisis tie-in. And then there was Rann-Thanagar Holy War, which they all came out like 2005, 6, and 7, I think. Okay. Maybe one was 8. And I didn't know about the other two. I knew about this one. I just didn't have it. I didn't know about the other two. So that was pretty cool to find out just by checking out some of the story.
Okay, so this is a 6-issue series. We're just covering the first 2 tonight. What are your thoughts about the introduction, the first third of it?
I like it when DC brings in different alien races. I mean, obviously, on Earth, we always think about, that country or culture takes on this country or culture. But in this case, we have completely different alien race taking on a different alien race who's sided with a different alien race who betrayed a different alien race. So you really kind of get like the big exposure and how vast this DC universe is. And I love stuff like that. So this one I really enjoy.
Yeah, it's fun. I was caught by surprise with Tamaran being brought in, but I thought it was perfect. Blackfire is a perfect person to insert into that situation who would try to manipulate that situation to what she needs it to be. So I like that a lot. Absolutely. Yeah, it was a fun read. Did you pick up this then at the comic store?
Yeah, I picked up. They had all 6 issues, to buy, and it did come with. There was a. See if I can find it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's around here somewhere. But there was like a special special one-shot issue that I just recently noticed, but I don't know where that one went. But it's around here somewhere. But I thought that was pretty neat. So this, it technically had 6 issues in the story, but there were 7 issues in the run. Okay. I'm a little disorganized at the moment, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
Nice. Well, cool. That's our retro review for tonight.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to mention before we start getting into the book show portion?
How familiar are you with Adam Strange?
A little bit. I know him more and have him more in my collection from his various guest starring features in the Justice League comic book, the Volume 1 Justice League. He guest starred frequently in that comic book. So that's where I pretty much know him from.
I wonder if they're going to find a way to put him in the Snyderverse somehow, some way. It'd be an interesting character. Well,
isn't the Snyderverse done?
Or the Gunverse.
The Gunverse.
The Gunverse, yeah.
Gunn does like his space stuff.
Yeah, he does like his lesser known characters. I feel like Adam Strange kind of fits the bill. Kind of like a lesser known, but I think people might get him confused with Doctor Strange.
They could, yeah.
Or Adam Warlock. I don't know, but it'd be interesting to see. I think Adam Strange would be like the DC universe equivalent to like a Peter Quill, Star-Lord.
Okay. You think he has that much personality?
Maybe not personality, but the way he fights and uses tech. I think he'd be like a really good version of Warlord or Star-Lord.
Okay. Cool. So do you want to give the 2 issues a grade or not?
Yeah, I'll give them a grade. Out of 10, I'm going to give this an 8. You know, I really, I'm looking forward to the other issues, and maybe I'll thumb through them. But they're pretty cool. None of the covers really give a whole lot away, really. Well, maybe the last one does, so I won't show it. But you know, the next issue does look pretty wild. Issue 3.
That's a great cover.
Yeah, that's cool. Issue 4 here, we have that big god that they unleashed. See if I can get it right here, which is kind of cool. Issue 5 is just 2 different Hawkgirls, and then I'm not going to show issue 6 because it could give something away. But it looks like a nice little mini run, and remember, this is the countdown to Infinite Crisis, so they had the whole 4 months until Infinite Crisis, so that's pretty neat.
Yeah, that is cool. Awesome. Well, that was a fun pick tonight.
Yeah.
What's going on your channel, Book Show? What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, Book Show. I got a couple things I'm going to show. So I try to stick with the whole Hawkman and Adam Strange thing. So I have the Death of Hawkman, #1, signed by Marc and Dreco.
Nice.
And right down here in the corner, kind of see it. It's kind of bad marker. That is cover artist Philip Tan.
Nice.
And this is the B cover. And I also have the A cover signed by Marc and Dreco. So pretty cool. I will probably not meet him again. If you know, you know. Some back issues that I did pick up because I had a lot of time to go to the LCS, and I was happy to do it. So I picked up not only did I pick up the complete story of Rann-Thanagar War, but I picked up the entire run of Trinity of Sin Pandora, all 14 issues, which I didn't have. I don't know why, because Magic is my thing right here in the DC universe. So that was the back issue, and one current issue that I was able to pick up was the new Superman run. Yeah. So here's the new kind of foily Superman.
Nice.
Cover. So that's pretty cool. Really looking forward to that. Dan Slott is the writer on that one. But as for what's coming up on my channel, a lot of shorts. Got some shorts coming. And I'm going to start filming the new Office move. Mark your calendars, June 9th. That week. So it's going to be a journey. Full disclosure, when it comes to handyman stuff, I am not your guy. I'm a huge fan of duct tape and stuff. So the fact that my desk here that I built hasn't completely and utterly collapsed under my own inexperience is nothing short of a miracle. But it's going to be a lot of fun. I've got some awesome things I'm going to do, especially with my posters that I've always wanted to display. Going to do some cool stuff with that, and just it's really going to be a lot of fun. I'm really going to put some time in and work on it. I don't know when I'm going to start doing this show in that room, just because I use my desk setup for work. So I'm gonna have to find maybe a long weekend I can move that stuff down there. But yeah, all the file cabinets, all the books. I'm gonna change the way the books are displayed. I'm finally gonna be able to use the spinner rack and have it spin properly. Nice. So it's gonna be worth it. So if you're interested in seeing that transition, stay tuned. I'm really gonna try to kind of stretch that out and get some good content out of it. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it.
Nice. So on my channel, what is already on my channel is a back issue of the week YouTube short. It's on Nightwing. And Tony, I am almost at 550 views on that. It has been a hot minute since I've gotten up that high on a short.
For your short? Okay.
Yeah.
Wild.
It's like 546 right now. I just looked. So, 550 is definitely doable.
So, question on that. How many, number-wise, when do you okay, that's successful?
I like to see everything hit triple digits. So, if I see 100, I'm like, okay, I can live with that. When I see something like 26, I'm like, That's not even a view for how many minutes of work I put into making that, you know?
Yeah. 500
So
though, that's a lot.
yeah, I mean, back in the old days when they would promote my shorts, and they didn't promote this one. I'm not exactly sure why this one caught on. But when they would promote my shorts, I could get them up to 750, 800, with no problem at all. So to get one back in that territory again really meant a lot to me. So thank you to everyone who did watch. And if you could watch it maybe just 4 or 5 more times, that would be even more awesome. And then my comic book editions video that came out this past week, I went to last month, went to a comic book show that I'd never been to. It was a first time show in the area when I got off work. And I bought a lot of dollar books, but they were what I thought really good dollar books. So you're going to see what $20 got me. And it's over 20 books actually.
Wow. For $20. Jeez.
Yeah. And they had like Bronze Age on up stuff. So I was pretty happy. So I think I shared some good stuff there. For my back issue of the week YouTube short tomorrow, I'll do something to tie in. It will be Marvel related, but it will tie into Peter David's passing. When a creator passes, I usually like to pop them into my CLZ to see what books I have in my collection from them. And there definitely was a book that he wrote, that's a Marvel book that I really, really enjoyed, that I also thought fit in well with Memorial Day. So I'm going to feature that tomorrow. And then Tuesday, I have 2 things in my comic book edition video coming on Tuesday. I have an AOK from DC Steve Superstars.
Oh yeah, I know who that is. Okay.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
Steve sent me something. And in the same video, I'm working on my Justice League of America Volume 1 collection, right?
Yep.
And I'm down to this many issues.
Oh man.
Well, that number will change after Tuesday's video.
I forget. Did you find any at C2E2?
No, I saw one.
Okay.
I saw one,
That's
but
what
I didn't like the price on it. So that's coming up this upcoming Tuesday. For a book show, I thought I'd tie something in with Peter David too, since he's a newsworthy story today. Here's a comic book he wrote back in the mid-90s. Isn't this 90s?
Oh man. Look at that hair.
I think it's Aquaman Volume 5, I believe it is. And this is issue 16, guest starring the Justice League. So
Man, that's when everyone had like 8-pack abs and their muscles had muscles.
yeah.
Jeez.
So this is what I picked for my book show tonight to share. And then as I'm picking out a book show for fanboys, I inevitably always wonder, why do I pick something that's always on the bottom long box? Always. If you would like to share an at-home version of the book show, you can share a cover or anything else DC-oriented with us on Instagram. Go ahead, do that. Just use the hashtag Fanboys Live in the Retro Review so we can make sure to catch you. So my comic book editions video that will be coming out this upcoming Tuesday, that is going to be, let's see, I think that's volume 240. Yeah, it's going to be 240 coming out on Tuesday. Video 242 is going to be massive. It's going to be explosive. It's going to be OMG worthy. I will probably talk my head off because, I have no problem just yap. Next thing you know, I look at it, I'm like, I think to myself, this will probably be a short little 10, 11 minute video. I get done, I look at it, it's 26 minutes. I'll probably go over that. But there's a story to tell, a story that I haven't told. And it's time for this story to be told. So in a few weeks on Comic Book Editions Volume 242, and I'm going to start teasing this a lot more in the upcoming weeks, next month, you're going to find out. If you're not subscribed to my channel, if you're not subscribed to Signature King, links are in the description for this video, so make sure to do so. Next week on Fanboys Live, look who's going to be here with us. Super Russ 9000. Silver-haired Bronze Age babe should be back with us as well next week. So we're going to double the space in the kingdom.
Oh, wow. There you go.
Yeah. And should I go ahead and say what we're going to do for next week?
Let's see it.
we are going to do Superman and Flash race. We're going to do a few of them. So probably the first 3 Superman Flash races. So I think it's going to be fun. As you know, we've been doing a lot of Superman gearing up for the July release of the movie.
Are you going to see that opening night?
I don't know yet if it's going to be opening night, but I will see it within its initial release. Like, I should see it, once it gets released, I should see it before we have Fanboys that weekend. That's
okay,
the plan. So
opening weekend.
Yeah. It all depends. I'm kind of waiting on my friend's schedule.
Okay.
So, because I would go to the movie alone, but I want to see it with my friend. It's my friend that you met.
Oh, him. What
Yeah,
a great guy, that guy. What
Yeah. So, I want to go to the movies with him.
I'd go to the movies with that guy.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's kind of what the plan is. So that's for next week.
Very cool. Very cool.
We did it.
It's gonna be a great week. It's gonna be a great week.
How you enjoying your bonus date tomorrow?
Oh man, I don't know. There's just so much stuff that I have to do. Like, a lot of people use that time to rest, but I look at it as like, now I could catch up.
Yeah. I'm starting to work on reorganizing the room that I'm in right now. And I'm so glad you can't see the condition of the room that I'm in right now. But I've got the initial structure put together. I moved some stuff around yesterday, worked on it, not as much as I should have today. But tomorrow I'm going to hit it hard. That's the plan at least. So got to be happy in your space.
Yeah, believe me, I'm excited to get out of mine.
Yeah.
I got all kinds of ideas. I should share some with you, but I don't want to give anything away.
Okay. Sounds good.
But, yeah, Superman, it's coming up next week.
Sure.
Superman versus Flash.
Superman Flash race. Yeah, I think that's going to be fun.
I always thought they should add Shazam to that because he is, has the speed of Mercury.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, God of Speed. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe he can hit the Speed Force too. I don't know.
Maybe. To everyone that was in the live chat tonight, I know it's a holiday weekend. You could be doing many things. The fact that you were here means a lot. If you watched on the rewind, of course, we appreciate you making it all the way to the end too. Super cool. You can always give the video a thumbs up, a like, a heart. That's always cool. Tony, I've broken. I got my 925 subscribers. I'm at 926. So now I'm working on the 950. I'm getting there. So
I've been stuck at 14, 16 for like 60 days. Nothing.
Yeah.
And my shorts are getting the views.
I got no subscribers
spinning.
to my knowledge out of that, almost 550 views on that Nightwing. And I don't think I got one subscriber out of it.
I am pushing 30,000 views without a single new subscriber.
Wow.
That's great, but I want the subs. I'd rather get a video with 100 views and one sub than 12,000 views and not a single new subscriber.
I understand. You've been watching Fanboys Live in the Retro Review, the greatest DC Comics show on YouTube. We hope you have a happy, healthy, successful week. Enjoy that bonus day tomorrow, and we will catch you with Super Russ 9000 and Silver Hair Bronze Age Babe next Sunday night. Same bat time, same bat channel. Bye.